Dragon on the Lake returned to Lake Orion with 4 days of fun, highlighted by dragon boat races on Sunday. We'll have all the highlights coming up. Food, fun, and music made up the 2017 LO Palooza, a day-long fundraiser benefiting a great cause. Although it's been serving the community for more than a year, one local restaurant finally got around to celebrating its official grand opening. And the Lake Orion Dragons football season is officially underway. Coming up, we'll have highlights of their home opener against Rochester Adams. Hello, I'm Stacy Calloway, and I'll have those stories and more coming up on this edition of ONTV News. In 2009, the Orion Art Center created the Dragon on the Lake Festival as a fundraiser to allow it to continue to offer classes and scholarships to the community. The event returned to Lake Orion at the end of August, and it was a huge success. The 2017 Dragon on the Lake Festival officially got underway on Thursday, August 24th, when dozens of kids gathered under the Dragon Pup tent for the second annual foam party. J. Sanborn Entertainment Company once again provided the music and the Soapy Suds.
We offer a good time and for both kids and adults to come. The foam cannons put out lots of bubbles, and kids get in there, dance around, jump around. It's a lot of energy, high energy dance party, and just a lot of fun for everybody who comes out.
Later that evening, residents were invited to come out for the first ever hysterically hot chili cook-off. 3 local fire departments, Orion, Oxford, and Rochester, competed for the title of Best Chili. Orion and Rochester served up a white bean chicken chili, while Oxford went with a more traditional recipe.
Fall's coming. I feel like you just want the normal chili that you're used to eating. And I don't know if you saw, but their chili's white. It's weird.
How did you settle on this particular recipe?
It's the same one I've always used, except a lot spicier.
What makes good chili in your opinion?
Ours. Because ours is made with love, unlike the other guys. Just saying.
Well, I've actually entered it in a previous chili cook-off within the department, and actually won that one. So I decided to try it again and see if we could go 2 for 2.
So you went with a chicken. Looks like there's some corn in there. Any secrets you want to give away?
Yeah, just it's a chicken chili. It's got some corn, your typical white beans, some green chilies, and a bunch of other stuff.
What's your prediction for the competition?
I'm going to go with a win.
As visitors sampled the chili, they were treated to a comedy show featuring several local comedians. Lake Orion native Jimmy Cipriano organized the show and served as the MC, introducing comedians Brett Hayden and Chad Yagoda, James Elliott, and headliner Zach Martina. At the end of the night, after the votes had been tallied, it was announced that the Orion Township Fire Department received the most votes and was crowned champion of the first chili cook-off.
The winning team, I should say, Orion Firefighters.
On Friday night, festival organizers hosted a beer and wine tasting in downtown Lake Orion as a thank you to the event sponsors. Visitors enjoyed live music performances, and food was provided by local businesses. Beer was courtesy of Homegrown Brewery in Oxford, and the wine came from Wine Social located in downtown Lake Orion.
What we decided this year is, because we did so well with the one night at Party on the Point, we decided to take it a little bit further and do it for 4 nights. So we set the tent up here in downtown Lake Orion, and we're doing events Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And what that does is it raises more money for the Orion Art Center. It's just a good event that people can come and donate their money and help out a really good cause.
While that was going on, lake residents began assembling on the water for the Lake Orion Lake Association's annual lighted boat parade, led by Scott Campbell's fire-breathing Dragon. There were 7 official entries, but they were joined by dozens of boats looking to get in on the fun. A pontoon loaded with judges scrutinized each boat in several categories. At an awards ceremony on Sunday, it was announced that the entry from Brian McMahon and Brent DeClark received first-place honors. The team received a $300 cash prize courtesy of Ray Seas of Lapeer.
All I can say about the winning entry is the ship didn't sink. The winning entry is the Titanic, and they had an iceberg in front of it. And the only thing that was missing was the sinking of the ship. But they did have everything else. They had the iceberg, they had the violin player. It was absolutely spectacular.
On Saturday, August 26th, the streets of downtown Lake Orion were closed to traffic as dozens of vendors set up shop along Flint Street and Broadway, offering food, arts, crafts, music, and more.
Well, it's pretty awesome, all the activities and all the different vendors, including the kissing the puppy booth for the baseball diamond. It's awesome, and all the artwork going on with the chalk dragon on the lake activities, and the vendors and the entertainment, and our jet ski races and our dragon boat races, lots of fun things, the foam party. It's a great time here in Lake Orion, where living's a vacation.
We caught up with Orion Art Center Executive Director Jan Price, who is enjoying her first Dragon on the Lake experience since becoming director earlier this year.
It means so much, of course, to the Art Center because this is one of our major fundraisers. But I think as far as bringing the community together as a whole, friends meet who haven't seen each other all summer. People make new friends. I think it's just a wonderful event, and it couldn't be a better setting in this beautiful little village area. We are so lucky to live in an area that still has a downtown as quaint and as interesting as Lake Orion.
As visitors strolled through the downtown area, they may have noticed artists of all ages creating masterpieces for the annual Chalk Art Challenge, which has been part of Dragon on the Lake since the beginning. $1,500 in prize money was donated by the Chadwick Group of Lake Orion. On the grounds surrounding the Orion Art Center, children took advantage of the games, rides, and entertainment in the Kids Zone.
There's pony rides, there's live characters, there's a dragon and a raccoon that dance around. There's Lego games, there's all kinds of events for children, and there's a special tent sponsored by the DIA where children can actually experience the creation of art.
Just a short distance from the downtown area, organizers, competitors, and fans were gathering at Greens Park for the first ever Brave the Wave jet ski competition. Approximately 30 riders competed in races and freestyle events on Lake Orion. The event was organized by Michigan Wave Makers and was the first of this magnitude here in Michigan.
I've been riding since I was 8 years old, and I used to do like in-house inland lake races. And as I started getting older and my kids got a little older, I wanted to get back into racing, and there were just no races. And I said, we're the Great Lakes State, so I mentioned it to Terry one day, and she says, let's do it.
The community has been great. Anything we needed help, there was always somebody willing to step up and help us. A lot of paperwork with the state, but it's all doable, and we were worried about the time frame. We started kind of late, but it all came together, and we really thank Lake Orion and the Dragon on the Lake Committee for letting us be part of their festival. I think having something like this involved with something else big that's already going on is just great for the community and everybody around.
Many of the competitors were local, having grown up on the lake. Some came from out of state, hoping for a share of the thousands of dollars in prize money. During the freestyle competition, judges looked at amplitude, degree of difficulty, and overall impression.
Lake Orion's a great lake, perfect setting, perfect crowd with the Dragon on the Lake event this weekend. You know, we have a lot of extra people who normally probably wouldn't come out to an event like this, so they get to experience something new, which is great. Plus, a lot of the riders here are actually local and live on the lake, so it's very cool to show their home lake off to everyone. You know, we'll have coverage of this on Facebook, on Instagram. With the benefits of social media nowadays, it's really drawing attention to both events, all the riders, the progression of the sport. It's going to be a great time out here today.
At the end of the day, medals and cash prizes were handed out in 3 classes. Ryan Doberstein of Charlotte, North Carolina was one of the top winners of the day.
A big thing is literally just have fun, get the crowd into it, do some hard tricks, technical tricks, but string them all together. And biggest thing for me is to stay clean. When you do a trick, try not to bobble, go into a next trick, and just keep the crowd interacted. Today we had 3 minutes on the water. Normally I compete in 2 minutes, so I've got that 2-minute time frame down, so 3 minutes is really hard. But I just kept going and going, and I was exhausted afterwards, but it was totally worth it.
Lake Orion native Justin Sylvain, who recently turned pro, went unchallenged in his class, but managed to give spectators a great show. He told us he hopes to see more events like this on the lake.
Honestly, this event has been a game changer for us. We've traveled all around the U.S. doing stunt shows and competitions, and there's never really been anything in Michigan. So all of our friends and family are always asking for videos and what's the closest event? It's like, oh, it's 10 hours away. So having the event here and they can come out and watch firsthand, it was awesome.
Over at the Dragon Pup tent, the final act on Saturday night was the always popular Square Pegs. The tent was filled to capacity as the band entertained the crowd with pop hits from the 80s.
For me, that's when I was sort of growing up. You know, I went to high school in the 80s, you know, believe it or not. And, you know, it was a real influential time as far as music goes. A lot of diverse music coming out, different styles. I think people respond to it because it's the kind of music you can go back to and sort of feel like you're young again, you know.
We just want everyone to have the best time possible. This is one of our favorite gigs of the whole year. We look forward to it all year, and we're so grateful to be here, and we just want everyone to have a good time. We have some new stuff that we've been working on that you didn't hear last year, so it's going to be awesome.
The final day of Dragon on the Lake got underway early Sunday morning with an opening ceremony in Greens Park. 23 teams made up of 20 people per team gathered together for the start of the 9th annual Dragon Boat Races. New race directors Matt Gibb and Elena Campbell welcomed participants and explained the rules, and then the first race of the day was underway. The race is divided into 3 heats, with the times of the first 2 heats added together to determine the seed of the third and final heat. We caught up with some of the teams as they came off the dock during the first heat.
Absolutely team cohesiveness. This group is nothing but positive people, and if you have that, you are a champion. Yes!
It's a handsome team, too. Is that something you guys worked on?
Yeah, we did. We actually all got our hair done downtown earlier, but no, it's definitely a positive attitude. That's all you need. You gotta listen to your person in front of you, and we were actually honored to be sponsored by Century 21 today, and we are so thankful to them. Century 21 affiliated in Oxford got us here today, so we're very thankful for them.
You won your first race of the day. What do you owe to your success?
I'd say it's good teamwork, all practicing hard. We lined up right before, talked it through, and just practiced all the things we needed. Put our heart into it. It was great.
Get ready. All right, what's the rest of the day going to look like for you?
Lots of push-ups and lots of reading up on how to make sure we go faster next time. So brains and brawn.
I love the community, that the community comes together and does a lot of fun stuff here. You just see a lot of people outside enjoying the weather and the cool things happening.
Why do you come back every year?
It's fun. It's fun. It's a great thing for our group to do. It's great for our community. I mean, we're raising money as well, so.
Brian, not only did you win this heat, but you retained the Golden Paddle. First of all, give me a little history of this Golden Paddle competition.
So the Golden Paddle is a competition between all the board members at the chamber. So if you're on a different boat, you compete for the Golden Paddle. So this year there's only 3 of us, and thankfully we took it home for the 3rd time in a year.
That's 3 times in a row?
Right, 3-peat,
wow. Yep. What does that mean to you and your team?
Oh, well, it's the first step. You know, we always want to win the Golden Paddle, then we want to win the whole thing. So last year we did it, so we hope to do it again. It's fun competing against your friends and colleagues, but it's better to beat them. So we did that. We've done it 3 years in a row, so hopefully we can keep it up the next 2 heats.
We are so excited, and I think this really sets the pace for the rest of the day. We're just gonna go back out there, and we might be charitable, but we're also competitive, so we're going to use it.
What's the key to success? How do you prepare for this?
We show up the day before the races and practice for an hour. Go! Bring it faster! Bring it closer! 3, 2, 1! Dragon Boat Parkinson's!
Well, we're here as a team building activity, but we're here to win.
Awesome. What's your prediction?
I'm pretty sure we're going to win.
Oh, yeah? All right.
We'll see. We're going to give it our best.
Do you guys have like a team chant or anything like that?
We sure do.
Let's hear it.
All right, ready guys? Hands in.
Come on, hands in.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
BYT! They're all Beaumont employees, and they're all volunteering to help out the art program in Lake Orion.
That's awesome. You've done this before. How many years has this team been part of Dragon on the Lake?
4 years now.
4 years. Why do you come back? Why do you do it?
Because it's so great that we give to the Lake Orion community.
Well,
it's dedication, I guess, and just determination to want to win. And when you've been second place for 3 times, you just kind of want to take the gold, and that's what we're hoping to do this year.
What brings you back every year?
Well, we love the community, we support the event, we like the causes, and we just like getting together for all of the things that we do, and we just love it.
The American Legion sponsors our boat. It's made up of local people. Deb D'Onofrio's been coaching us for a while. We have a lot of heart, and we want to earn a lot of money for our community, and we also want to win.
How many years have you been coming back to this thing?
Ever since it started.
What brings you back every year?
The heart of the community, to represent the American Legion, and competitiveness, and we are competitive.
During a break in the action, cancer survivors boarded 2 dragon boats for a moving ceremony that paid tribute to those who've battled cancer.
So the Art Center definitely is the #1 organization that we're here to support. They put on this whole entire festival, Dragon on the Lake Festival. But #2 is breast cancer research and cancer research in general, which is really important. And we have, our 3 sponsors, major sponsors for this event, which are Pulte Homes, and then also Beaumont Hospital and McLaren and the Carmanos Cancer Institute. And we actually have a team from Beaumont called Hope Floats, and they are all cancer survivors that participate on that team. And then we also have another team that travels all the way from Ontario, from Toronto, Ontario, to compete as well, and they are also breast cancer survivors. So that's really exciting to be raising money for something like that.
Matt Gibb gave credit to the entire community for coming together to make the dragon boat races possible.
Well, Elena and I are running around acting like we're in charge and we're doing this, but all the pieces are there. They all fit in the puzzle. So the Knights of Columbus are working the parking, and the Rotary's on the docks, and the Women's Federation Club is working all the registration and the water sales, and even downtown. Everybody pitches in and has a role. And so the community just kind of rises up. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and it all falls together. And hopefully we're a little bit of the glue that keeps it on track.
After the times in the first 2 heats were added up, it was determined that the top 3 teams with the fastest times would face each other in the final race of the day to determine the 2017 champion. In lane 1 on the left side of your screen is last year's champion, the Bernie Directive. In the center is BYT CrossFit, and in lane 3 on the right is Urasis Dragon.
Wow, they are making some wake out there.
Last 10 meters.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, that's a photo.
All right, well, we don't know officially, and we are not going to call that ourselves. Too close to call.
As you can see, it was a photo finish. Participants would have to wait until the award ceremony for the official results. Later at the Dragon Pup tent, organizers and participants gathered for one last bash as the 2017 Dragon on the Lake Festival wound down. The winners of the Chalk Art Challenge were announced by Reggie Harrison.
And first place, $300, goes to 15-year-old Emily Penrose with the dragon eye. This girl is 15 years old. $300. Okay, so that's the dragon boat, that's the chalk art competition for this year. And thanks again for supporting the arts in Lake Orion.
Then the moment everyone was waiting for, co-director Matt Gibb announced the final results of the 2017 Dragon boat races, starting with third place.
Third place, Urasis Dragon, powered by Rehab Innovations. They had a time of 1 minute, 31.9 seconds. 1 minute, 31.9 seconds. In second place, with a time of 1 minute, 31.3 seconds, the Bernie Directive. So that means with a time of 1 minute 30.6 seconds is BYT CrossFit powered by Pulte.
I can't believe it. It was so close, and we were so excited, and we wanted to win so bad. So just awesome, awesome.
the key to winning was?
Not giving up. We were ahead of them, and they started pulling up next to us, and we started yelling and screaming and didn't give up, and apparently it was enough to get there.
What can you say about the people that made up this team?
The people that make up this team are my heart and soul. These guys, we have done everything together. We camp together, we work out together, we drag and boat together. We all love each other. It's a great group.
And with that, the 2017 Dragon on the Lake Festival came to an end. We talked to event organizers to look back on the 4 days of fun.
I have a saying, and I say it always, that if you take care of a community will take care of you. I truly, with all of my being, believe that. And the community shined again for us. You know, this is the Art Center's largest fundraiser. This is literally how we keep our doors open. So without the community supporting this and us putting on an event that the community is going to love, it wouldn't be a success. So thank you to everyone, from our vendors to people that came and bought beer to people that shopped local downtown. All of that is so important to get everybody to come back next year.
Yeah, thanks to the community, volunteers. Always need volunteers, never have enough volunteers. Please come out and help. All the sponsors, so many, too many to mention. Gosh, Joe, we have, 50 sponsors in total. So many different people help out with the festival. And thank you for that. Alana Hart, of course, my wing girl, Elena Campbell and Matt Gibb, who did the drag boat races, Terry and Ryan on the jet ski side, great job. Just so many people that were involved this year. Thank you.
Monday, September 11th marked the 16th anniversary of those tragic events that changed the world in which we live. Each year, the Lake Orion community comes together to remember the lives lost and pay tribute to first responders. Here are some of the highlights from the ceremony.
But this is a really somber day, but also a day to celebrate the people that serve us. And I grew up in a firefighter's home, and this morning, probably some of you had the same reaction. I woke up, and like a good township supervisor, the first thing I did was to check Facebook. And I was taken back to the events of 16 years ago, and I'm sure we all remember exactly where we were that day. And I spent 8 minutes watching this video that was very well done. Maybe some of you saw the same video today. But the thing that was striking about the video, and that's striking about the people, the men and women standing behind you and sitting behind me, is in that video, the first responders were running to the calamity, sprinting, knowing that their fate was probably not going to end very well. And that to me is what today is about. It's about remembering those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, but also about thanking those who, and the families of those who put themselves in harm's way every day.
After the events of 9/11, America experienced a huge surge of the same unity and patriotism that we felt in 1776. We were Americans, and on that day, and for weeks, months, and years later, we all felt united with the same loss and pain in our hearts. On that tragic Tuesday morning, we lost 2,753 people, 343 of which were firefighters and paramedics, first responders who gave their lives in the effort to save others. It was more than just a job to them. It was a duty to defend their country that resided so deep in their hearts that they were willing to lay down their lives to save innocent strangers.
These gentlemen are what we all wish we could be. Those young, strong, more than willing young men to step forward in a time of need, and they've done that and they've proven that in our community. I am so proud and honored to give these gentlemen what they're just rewards.
As we remember and honor the nearly 3,000 souls lost on that fateful day, we are reminded and comforted by these words of President George W. Bush. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of tall buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. And as I read his words in closing, look around you, please, at the firefighters, law enforcement, emergency medical service personnel in this community, and know that we echo these final words every day as our promise to you. We will not tire.
We will not falter. We will not fail. God bless you and your family. May God bless and protect our public safety professionals every day in the jobs they're called to do. And may God bless America. Thank you.
Over the past few years, additions at Friendship Park in Orion Township have allowed those with special needs to have fun at the park with friends. Now the community is coming together to raise money for the newest addition, and a recent event helped get closer to the goal. On Saturday, September 9th, Orion Township's Wildwood Amphitheater was the site of the 4th annual LO Palooza. The event ran from noon until 9 p.m. and offered visitors a wide variety of family-friendly fun while raising money for the Orion On Deck project.
So today, first and foremost, is going to be fun. But we've got a petting zoo, we've got vendors, we've got different food vendors and different shopping vendors and live music and a beer tent and a cornhole tournament and snacks and all sorts of stuff.
70 participants took part in a cornhole tournament, which has been held at the event the last 3 years. Motor City Cornhole organizes the tournament and donates 50% of the proceeds to the cause.
I do a few charity events a year, but this is my big one. I like their cause. A lot of the other things I do are for kids as well. I think it's important.
Zach is awesome. So he brings an amazing group of people that would have never been exposed to any of this otherwise. So it's awesome to bring in a different group and expose them to what we're doing, what we're about, and it's a fun event. Cornhole, of course, is fun. So who doesn't like cornhole, right? I mean, and he brings out the social and the competitive. So we have that every year. So if you didn't get to do it this year, make sure you mark your calendar for next year.
The big draw at the event is the lineup of musicians and bands that perform throughout the day on the stage at the Wildwood Amphitheater.
Every year it's getting better and better. We're super excited this year. We have recording artist Tony Luca, who was a finalist on NBC's The Voice. So he's going to be our headliner, but the caliber of music has been amazing. We've got great talented artists that are playing at 20 Front Street in Lake Orion have come out and donated their time just so we can raise the money for the kids.
The Lake Orion Dragons 2017 varsity football season kicked off on Thursday, August 24th with a 2017 loss against Chippewa Valley. They returned to Dragon Stadium on August 31st to face rivals Rochester Adams in the home opener. ONTV's Joe Johnson has all the highlights.
On the evening of Thursday, August 31st, the Lake Orion Dragons hosted the Rochester Adams Highlanders during their 2017 home opener. After starting off the season with a loss, the Dragons were hoping to notch a win against their OAA Red Division rivals. Let's go to the fourth. The Dragons are on their own 46 when the offense finally gets a boost with Johnny Marshall under center. He finds a wide open Pierce Burke at the 39, who's finally taken down on the Highlanders 28. With 11 minutes left to go in the game and down by 32 points, Marshall is facing a fourth down at the 28. He hits Pierce Burke for a first down, keeping the drive alive. Then facing another fourth down situation, Marshall's pass to Burke falls incomplete, and the Highlanders take over on downs. On first down, Carter Ferris attempts a routine handoff, but it's broken up by Kobe Manzo. Josh Wentz falls on the loose ball, and the Dragons regain possession on the Highlanders' 19. On first down, Dylan Frank goes to the outside and is forced out of bounds at the 8-yard line. A face mask penalty and a personal foul on Adams puts the ball on the 1-yard line. On the next play, Dylan Frank pounds the ball into the end zone for Lake Orion's first score of the game. A 2-point conversion makes the score 32-8. But that was all the offense the Dragons could muster. The Highlanders managed one more touchdown to make the final score 39-8. We caught up with first-year Dragons head coach John Blackstock to look back at this tough loss.
I'm shocked. I think we're all a little bit shocked. I got to give Adams a lot of credit. You know, Tony had those guys ready to go. They came in, fired up, and played a great game. They're great at what they do in terms of offensively and defensively. They don't do a lot, but they do it really well.
From Dragon Stadium, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV Sports.
Thanks, Joe. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.